At this very moment, somewhere in northern Tanzania, a Hadza man is stretched out beneath the shade of a tree, resting peacefully. His work for the day is already finished. The Hadza are among the last remaining hunter-gatherer societies on Earth, and their way of life offers a rare glimpse into how humans lived for nearly 300,000 years. For most of human history, survival did not require endless labor. Hunting, gathering, cooking, and maintaining daily life took only a few hours each day. Many modern workers spend more time answering emails before noon than ancient humans spent securing food. The Hadza have never lived by schedules or alarm clocks. They do not organize their lives around appointments or deadlines. Chronic illnesses that dominate modern societies are remarkably uncommon among them. Researchers who spend time living alongside the Hadza often return with a similar observation. These people appear genuinely content. So what does a typical day actually look like? The answer begins at sunrise. You wake as the darkness slowly fades from the sky. The air changes temperature. Nearby voices begin to stir. Around you, the camp gradually comes to life. You sleep on animal hides spread over flattened grass, perhaps beside a small fire that someone kept burning through the night. Everything you own could fit inside a single bag. Maybe you carry a bow, a digging stick, a few hides, or some beads given to you by a relative. Material possessions are limited, but relationships are not. A typical camp contains around 25 to 30 people. You know every one of them personally. These are not strangers sharing a neighborhood. They are people you have known your entire life. Your grandmother may be sleeping only a few feet away from your children. Nobody checks a clock because nobody owns one. The first part of the morning is usually spent talking. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner found that Bushman communities devote large portions of each day to conversation. These discussions are not meaningless chatter. They serve an important purpose. Through conversation, people learn who is forming relationships, who behaved selfishly, who has been unusually quiet, and who might need help. In many ways, these conversations function as the community's government, legal system, and social network all at once. If someone takes more than their fair share, people joke about it until the behavior stops. If someone breaks a promise, word spreads quickly among nearby camps. If a person consistently creates problems, they may eventually find themselves unwelcome. For a hunter-gatherer, exclusion from the group is one of the harshest consequences imaginable. Yet it rarely reaches that point. Anthropologist Richard Lee experienced this cultural system firsthand. In 1969, after living among the Kung for years, Lee decided to bring a special gift to the camp during Christmas. He purchased the largest and healthiest ox he could find, expecting the community to appreciate the gesture. Instead, they mocked it for weeks. People joked that the animal was too skinny. They complained the meat would be disappointing. Some suggested Lee had wasted everyone's time. The reaction left him confused. He knew the ox was excellent. Eventually, he asked an elder why everyone was criticizing such a valuable gift. The old man explained that this was intentional. When a hunter returns with a large kill, the community never praises him excessively. Instead, they make fun of the catch. They call it small. They complain about the meat. The more impressive the kill, the stronger the teasing becomes. The purpose is simple. Nobody is allowed to believe they are more important than everyone else. The community had treated Lee exactly the same way because he had brought something valuable. Their teasing was not an insult. It was a lesson. Every joke, every complaint, and every story shared around the campfire helps maintain equality. Where modern societies build courts, prisons, and complex institutions, these communities often maintain order through constant social interaction. As the morning progresses, the men begin preparing for the hunt. Hunting captures the imagination, but it is far less reliable than most people assume. Anthropologist Frank Marlowe, who spent decades studying the Hadza, found that hunters return empty-handed more often than not. A successful hunt may happen only once every few days, sometimes even less frequently. A hunter might walk 20 miles across rough terrain, spend hours tracking an injured animal, lose the trail completely, and return home carrying little more than a few birds and exhausted legs. Hunting requires patience, endurance, and a willingness to fail repeatedly, but when success comes, it can be dramatic. Hadza arrows are coated with poison derived from the sap of a desert rose. After striking an animal, the hunter follows its trail, sometimes for hours, waiting for the poison to take effect. Using this method, they have successfully hunted animals ranging from antelope to giraffes. Despite the attention hunters receive, they are not the primary providers of food. That responsibility belongs largely to the women. Among the Hadza, women supply more than half of the camp's daily calories. Every day, groups of 3 to 8 women head out together to gather food. They climb, dig, search, and collect resources that can be counted on far more consistently than hunting. Unlike the uncertainty of a hunt, gathering usually produces results. As they travel and work together, conversations continue. Much of the camp's news, decision-making, and relationship building happens during these daily excursions. By the time they return, they often carry not only food, but also the latest information circulating through the community. While hunters may attract attention when they succeed, women provide the dependable foundation that keeps everyone fed. One of the most surprising discoveries made by anthropologists involves grandmothers. The most productive gatherers are often women in their 50s and 60s. In many cases, they return with more food than mothers who are decades younger. Some continue walking 5 to 10 miles a day well into their 70s. This observation helped inspire what scientists call the grandmother hypothesis. Humans are unusual among primates because women often live for many years after menopause. Researchers believe grandmothers may have played a major role in human success by helping feed and support grandchildren, allowing younger mothers to raise larger families more effectively. Children are deeply involved in daily life as well. A 3-year-old Hadza child may follow her mother with a miniature digging stick, imitating the work taking place around her. By the age of 6, she can often find food independently. By 10, she is making meaningful contributions to the household. Young boys develop skills just as quickly. By the age of 8, a Hadza boy may leave camp carrying a small bow and return later with a bird he hunted himself. No one treats this as extraordinary. It is simply part of growing up. Anthropologist David Lancy studied traditional societies around the world and found a common pattern. Children spend most of their time in mixed age groups where older children naturally teach younger ones. Adults rarely intervene unless necessary. When a child falls, another child often helps. When a question is asked, a sibling usually provides the answer. Learning happens through observation, imitation, experimentation, and play. For hundreds of thousands of years, this was humanity's classroom. Children learned by watching adults work nearby, gradually practicing the same skills until they became capable themselves. By midday, food begins arriving back at camp. Whatever is collected gets shared immediately. Sharing is not considered generosity. It is simply the rule. If a Hadza hunter kills a large animal, the meat does not belong exclusively to him. Distribution begins almost immediately, and in many cases the hunter receives one of the less desirable portions, while everyone else shares the rest. Ownership takes a back seat to community survival. Many anthropologists believe this constant exchange of resources helped shape the human brain itself. Keeping track of who shared, who contributed, who needed help, and who stepped forward when resources were scarce requires a level of social awareness unmatched by other species. In these communities, generosity functions like savings. A person who shares today can depend on others tomorrow. After eating, the pace of camp life slows considerably. The hottest part of the day is not spent working. People rest beneath the shade, repair hunting equipment, weave baskets from grass, or simply sit together. Some spend time removing lice from each other's hair. To outsiders, the practice may sound unpleasant, but it often serves as an excuse for closeness, touch, and companionship. The middle of the day belongs to the body. It is a period of recovery rather than productivity. Daily necessities are handled without much ceremony. If someone needs privacy, they walk a short distance away into the bush. Natural materials replace modern conveniences. Life continues without much thought given to things that consume significant attention in industrialized societies. Women continue participating in daily activities during menstruation. Unlike some traditional cultures that isolate women during this time, the Hadza generally do not. Daily life continues much as before. Relationships are approached with a similar practicality. Privacy exists when desired, but many of the intense social taboos common in modern societies are largely absent. Of course, conflicts still happen. These communities are made up of human beings, not perfect people. Jealousy appears. Affairs occur. Tools are stolen. Old disagreements occasionally resurface. The difference lies in how disputes are resolved. When everything you own can be packed in minutes, leaving becomes an option. Rather than remaining trapped in constant conflict, one person may simply relocate to another nearby camp for a while. Anthropologists sometimes describe this as voting with your feet. Distance allows emotions to cool. Weeks later, people often return, and tensions that once seemed overwhelming have faded naturally. Most modern people do not have that option. Mortgages, careers, and responsibilities keep us rooted in place even when relationships become difficult.